Hello and welcome to another off-meta deck profile brought to you by Double Sleeve. If you're enjoying this content, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of our other off-meta deck profiles and the other content that we're delivering. And be sure to put something in the comment section below if there's something that you would like to see featured on off-meta deck profiles or even other content that you like. So you can do it below or on our Facebook page. There'll be also links in the description below to that if you'd like to join our Facebook group. Today we're going to be going through Garlic Jr. Garlic Jr., fun fact, was actually one of the first decks I ever foiled out because I always used to go, no, I don't care about the shiny cards. But now I can't help myself. I have to try and make everything as shiny as possible because that's what the game has done to me. But let's go through the deck profile. So Garlic Jr. on the leader front has keyword skill Overlord. Once per turn, place one of your battle cards with Servant skill at the bottom of your deck and then draw one card. Also, as the auto, when this card attacks, draw one card with the Awakened condition. When your life is 4 or less, if you have a yellow unison card with a specified cost of 3 in play, you may draw one card, switch up to one of your energy to active mode, and add cards to your life until you have 6 life left, and flip this card over. On the leader backside, we have same keyword skill Overlord, which is once per turn, and the auto, when this card attacks, draw one card, and then another auto, when one of your opponent's attack, so that's any of their cards, you may choose one yellow Demon Clan card with an energy cost of 2 or less in your hand, play in rest mode, and if you do, negate the skill for the turn. So a few interesting combos. I'll try and go through a few of them. Also, stay tuned at the end of this video. I do have a little side deck in there. It's not actually a side deck, but it's another deck idea for this that if you want to go with a multicolor build. So what we'll do, we'll go through the main package and I'll go through that side deck a little bit later on. So to start off, really important card. This was a expansion card that came out to help support the deck, and without this card, it's way too slow to get any of the package off. So this is a really key card. Garlic Jr. Immortal Avenger has unique and indestructible. Indestructible is really key with Unison that we've got later on, so we'll go through that later. Auto for 1 yellow energy. If your leader card is yellow Demon Clan card, when it's your turn, when one of your yellow Demon Clan cards is removed from your battle area by a skill, play this card from your hand. So you're looking at whenever you use Overlord with your leader, which I'll show you how we get that play off. Then you can pay 1 energy, get this guy out. So it's a 10k indestructible. Against red, a little bit more difficult to keep this guy out, but every other color you should be pretty set at having him staying on the board. Auto once per turn, switch this card to rest mode. When you activate Overlord skill, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode and KO it. So a bit of built-in removal with this guy as well. Now, our evolve target, which you want to try and get at as early as possible, because this is going to really be key for draw power in this deck as well. Unique, indestructible, and critical. So we have a 30k critical beater, Garlic Jr. Overlord of the Dead Zone. EX evolves for 1 yellow energy over a Garlic Jr. energy cost of 3, which is that expansion card there. Has Overlord also. Once per turn, you may place one of your battle cards with Servant skill at the bottom of your deck and then draw one card. Also has a really good active main once per turn. If your leader card is yellow Demon Clan card, look at the bottom card of your deck. If it's a yellow Demon Clan with an energy cost of 2 or less, you may play it, otherwise return it to the bottom of its deck. So essentially, you're going to activate Overlord, pop the card to the bottom, activate main, play that card out straight away, and get him back onto the field. So let's go through some of our Demon Clan package here. Some are servants, some are just generic beaters. So first one we have here is Vinegar of the Demonic Elite 4. Auto, when this card is played, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, play up to 1 yellow Demon Clan card with an energy cost of 2 or less among them other than copies of this card in rest mode, and then shuffle your deck. So this is essentially you searching the top 5 and playing something out in rest mode, but Overlord is going to come into effect there, and obviously we'll be able to bottom deck and get some draw out of that too. So a lot of cycling in this deck. Auto for 1 yellow energy. When your leader card is yellow Demon Clan, when you activate an Overlord skill, play this card from your hand, and you can't play copies for the turn. So once per turn is a generic 2 cost, but for 1 energy you can play him out once you activate Overlord. So activate with the skill, pay 1 energy. Next card here is Master Roshi Demonic Transformation. Has Servant, so this card gets plus 10,000 power, can be switched to active mode, and can't be switched to active mode during your charge phase. So there is essentially one off 20k beater. Auto, if your leader card is a yellow Demon Clan, when this card is played, draw 1 card, and you can't activate auto skills and copies of this card for the turn. Not a bad auto. we have a promo here, Chi-Chi Demonic Transformation. So again has Servant, so 20k beta, but can't be switched to active mode during charge phase. Auto, when this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards or unison cards and switch it to rest mode. A little bit of control there. Also ties in with, we've got the auto here. When you activate Overlord, choose a card in rest mode and KO it, so a bit of removal. Next card we have Bulma, Demonic Transformation. So again, Servant. A lot of these cards will have Servant to work with that Overlord skill. And active main for 1 yellow, once per turn. Look at up to 5 cards from the top of your deck, add up to 1 yellow unison card with a specified cost of 3, or up to 1 yellow Demon Clan card with an energy cost of 3 or less among them, add it to your hand, and then shuffle your deck. So paying 1 energy once per turn to search, not a bad skill if you have energy active and available, and you should have a little bit here after you get to past your sort of first 3-4 turns. You should have pretty consistent energy there, or if you do need to find a piece, it comes in handy. Gashu, I believe it's pronounced. Probably not. I'm known to stuff up names. Active main, if your leader card is a yellow Demon Clan card and you discard this card from hand, add up to 1 Mako Star from your deck to your hand and then shuffle your deck. Got 3 copies of this in the deck because the Mako Star is really key to making sure you get a wide board in this deck here. So auto for 1 yellow energy. If your leader card is yellow Demon Clan, you can activate Overlord skill and play this card from your hand. So basic 15k beaters. So we have 3 of those in the deck. The next one is the last one, which is Tado. When this card is played, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and it can't be switched to active mode during your opponent's next turn. Again, a little bit of control in there. And the same skill for 1 yellow energy, you can play it when you activate Overlord skill, which you should be doing every single turn. You should be able to activate Overlord with the cards in this deck. So we've got 3 generic 15k beaters that can be played out. We have 1 more servant card, so that gives us a last piece. This is actually a pretty key piece to helping control and really defend your life early on. So this is Yamcha, Demonic Transformation. He has Blocker, which is pretty important, and Servant. So this card gets plus 10,000 power and can't be switched to active mode during your charge phase. So essentially a 20k there, but can't be switched to active mode. Now, he's really important because when you have Yamcha out, you can obviously block with him, but if he's played in rest mode, you want to be able to restand him. So this next card is a key piece with your servant. Because they can't restand, we have this amazing spicy tech back from set 1, which is Zarbon, the Emperor's Attendant. Really handy with this deck. I've got it as a 3 of, but it actually comes in really handy to be able to get those 20k beaters going. Also, if you're blocking, you'll be able to block twice by restanding it as well. So auto, during your opponent's turn, when you combo with this card, choose up to 1 of your battle cards and switch it to active mode. So you got your blocker out, is in rest mode, you're comboing this guy, restanding, make sure you obviously out combo whatever the power is there, and then you've got another blocker for the turn, so really, really handy there. The next one is Mako Star, which is what Gashu searches out. So Mako Star is a field card for this deck. It's really important. So 1 energy. When you play this card, you activate. When you activate this card, look at up to 5 cards from the top of your deck. Choose 1 yellow Demon Clan among them from. Sorry, add up to 1 Demon Clan from them to your hand, and then shuffle your deck. The next auto, what's really important, because this is what's going to help you get a wide board. So if your leader card is yellow Demon Clan, at the end of your turn, choose up to 1 yellow Demon Clan with an energy cost of 2 or less in your hand and play it with its skills negated for the turn. So you can play your Yamcha out. You have that blocker in active mode. You're going to be able to block with it because he's in active mode, and then restand if you got the Zarbon in hand also. So really handy piece there. Also, the fact that you're playing servants, you're setting up your next turn as well if your opponent doesn't remove them, to continue activating Overlord. So the more bodies you got out there, the more you can activate Overlord. You can play a different secret rare in this deck. I'll get to that a little bit later if you do want to go down the Cell Xeno path, but I believe I've gone for a much more defensive play, and I'm not a big fan of the cheesy Cell Xeno just playing for free either. I've never been a fan of it, but it is a great card if you do want to add it to your deck. Now for the Unison. Obviously, we've got the new Gohan Unison in set 17, which is really strong. A lot of people like that. I've gone for Baby the Resolute Avenger, which is the same Unison that came out with this set. Couple of reasons why. So he's got blocker, able to defend. So it is a very defensive deck. You want to defend your life, keep it as high as possible. The permanent I really like here. If you have 2 or more yellow battle cards in play in rest mode, this card and your yellow leader card get plus 5,000 power. So that means that your leader card on its leader back, as long as you've got 2 cards in rest mode, which mean you should have most turns, you want to be going hard, swinging with this deck, you're going to be a 20k base. Plus, on top of that, you got so many blockers, you're going to be able to defend really well. The fact that your baby will be 20k, your leader's 20k, it's going to be harder for your opponent to get through. Has the uptick, active main. At the end of your turn, switch this card to active mode so you can put pressure on. And then at the same time, you're also um, got your blocker for the next turn, excuse me. And then the -2 is actually really good. If your leader card is yellow, choose up to one of your mono yellow battle cards with an energy cost of 5 or less, switch it to active mode. So you do have your 5 cost Scarlet Jr., which is your critical 30k beater. You can swing with him, do your -2, restand him, swing it with him again. I put it as a 3 of. Realistically, you're playing him a little bit later in the game. You can probably run it with the 2 of, but I wanted to make sure we weren't going to miss it. But you also have your Unison Searches. If you do want to change a few ratios around, that's probably one that I would switch to between 2 and 3. Couple of draw apes, really handy card. We do have a lot of draw power and cycle, but we're bottom decking, so I'm not really worried about decking out in this deck. Pay 2, send this card, drop to the warp, and draw 2 cards. Really handy. Now, I've gone for the slug package in this one. I haven't put all of the generic yellow good stuff because I don't want to. I don't want to do it in every deck, but I don't normally put the slug package in, so I thought, why not? I've got at least slot a little bit of generic good stuff in here. So auto for slug is when this card is played, draw 1 card, so it replaces itself. And active main for 1 yellow energy, choose 1. Choose up to 1 slug's army card with an original cost of 3 or less in your hand. Play it, and then place this card in its owner's drop area, or choose one of your opponent's battle cards and switch it to rest mode. So the one that we're going for, so we want to get the big 3 drop out, has unique and barrier permanent bond 2, which is pretty easy to get off in this deck. When this card is in rest mode, your opponent can't add cards from their deck to their hand using non-leader card skills. So you're shutting down their draw power, which is an amazing skill. Auto active, active main for 1 yellow energy. If your leader card is a yellow or a slug's army card, you discard this card from your hand, play up to 1 slug's army card with an energy cost of 1 from your deck, and shuffle your deck. So you're able to play this guy, but essentially you want to get one of these out, then play him on top, stop your opponent from drawing. Does have barrier, so it's hard to remove, plus he's 20k. And with all of the blockers, blocking potential in this deck, he should be fairly easy to keep out for at least for a little bit. 3 of the Freezer's army reinforcements, again, staple. Counter attack, if your leader card is mono yellow, negate the attack, play 1 Freezer's army token with 10,000 power and gains blocker for the turn, and you can activate it obviously if you have 5 life or less without paying its energy cost. Because it's yellow, we have 1 power of the Super Saiyan. Counter attack, negate the attack. Permanent, if you have 1 or more mono yellow energy in active mode, you can activate this card's active battle skill without paying its energy cost. Active battle, if your leader card is mono yellow, draw 1 card, then choose one of your opponent's battle cards or unison cards, switch it to rest mode, and you can't activate active battle copies for the rest of the turn of this card. So again, a bit more control. Yellow, you really want to have a couple of Final Flash in there. I do prefer this over the new one from Realm of the Gods. If your leader card is yellow, choose one of your leader cards. It gains all battle cards. It gains 15,000 K for the battle, and the auto. If all your energy is yellow, when you activate this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignore a barrier, and negate skills for the duration of the turn. Forbidden Power. This is the new Nimbus. I do prefer this over Nimbus personally because you can utilize it on both turns. So counter attack, if your leader card is yellow, your opponent can only attack with battle cards 1 more time for the turn. Great skill. Obviously, unisons and leaders can still get through, but really handy skill. Doesn't negate the attack though, so something to keep in mind. Active battle, if your leader card is yellow and it's your turn, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, switch it to rest mode, and choose up to one of your yellow cards that gets plus 10,000 power for the battle. So the ability to ignore a barrier, switch something to rest mode is really beneficial. Super combo, I've gone for the generic bottom deck, draw 2, so 4 of. And for the secret rare, I've gone for the Wicked Saiyans, which is really handy. So if this card's removed for your battle area, remove it from the game instead. Other permanent, if your opponent has 2 or more energy and your leader card is green-yellow, which we are, this card gains dual attack and blocker. Again, we're running a pretty blocker-heavy deck. Auto for 2 energy at the end of battle in which this card was used in a combo. From your hand, your opponent may choose 4 of their cards, switch them to rest mode. If they do, remove this card from your drop area from the game. If they don't, then play this card from your drop area and your opponent chooses 2 cards in their hand and discards them. So there'll be a hand destruction, playing the dual attack blocker. You want to make sure when you are playing this, you're either doing it to make sure they tap down all of their cards because you know it's going to help you get the win, or ideally you want them to tap down whatever extra they've got so that you can play it out comfortably. If they've got 3 cards up, they're not going to be able to tap down the 4. Now that's the basic deck. I do have the side deck which I talked about. So this is something if you want to go for a little bit of a different style, also to help with the baby, to make sure that you're going to have indestructibles out. Because with this yellow unison, you want to make sure these indestructibles are almost going to have you set to make sure that they're you're going to get that plus 5k, because they're really hard to remove unless your opponent's playing red. Whereas the other cards can be quite easily removed. Now, I did opt for a multicolor package, and I was thinking, why not get a little bit of Zamasu in there? So a little bit more control. You got 2 super combos that can rest cards. A couple of Zamasu the Eliminator. So Energy Exhaust Indestructible, which is a skill that we want to make sure it's really hard for our opponents to not make our Baby Unison work. Counterplay, play this card. The battle card being played has an energy cost of 4 or less, and return it to its owner's hand instead of being played. Permanent, if you have another blue yellow multicolor card in your energy, negate this card's energy exhaust skills in all area. And although when this card is played, draw 1 card, then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and switch to rest mode. So a lot of handy control in there. Because we've got the multicolor, don't mind a little bit of a rival. So this is a bit more of a pressure piece. So we've got dual attack and a rival for 1 blue or 1 yellow. So when this card is played, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 4 or less in rest mode. Place it at the bottom of its owner's deck. So again, we are resting a few cards with this deck. So the ability to bottom deck is really handy. And another blocker, Arrival, for 1 blue energy. Active battle once per turn. If your lead card is blue or yellow, switch this card to active mode. So you can swing with it on your turn, restand it, block with it on your opponent's turn, restand it. Really handy to have multiple blocks, really handy to have multiple swings. Because it's blue, a couple of sensu beans. I just put 3 sort of generic blue cards, so play 1 card, draw 1 card, and obviously the other skill. This is more for if you do need help with the arrival, you don't see one of those sort of multicolors to help get it out. You could run Zamasu at a 4 of, and go for the energy exhaust option to charge that. Keep in mind, if you do run this package, you need to make sure you're charging multicolor, so you don't want to really be charging these guys, otherwise you have to remove Final Flash. To get these guys in, super combos, remove 2 super combos from there, that's a 50-50 split. You could remove the slug package, you could probably remove the draw ape, side deck that, you're already most of the way there, and then drop maybe Forbidden Power by 1 that freezes army reinforcement, and they should pretty much have you there to get those into the deck if you do want to try a multicolor option. But that's the deck profile here. If you are enjoying the content, like I said before, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Let us know in the comment section below if you like this deck profile, if you would do anything differently, if you've got any thoughts on Garlic Jr., you've got your own build, and if there's anything else you'd like to see on a meta deck profile. So that's everything for today. Thank you, and I'll see you on the next one.